Now we are going to get in much more detailed stuff about lists, tuple, dictionary, sets, all in all data types. And we're going to learn what are the built-in data types provided by Python. We have seen variables as our bucket, which can store data. Now let's make a variable named first name and give it a value, for example Henry, and then the last name with a value of white, let's say. So now we have two strings. The first name is inside of double quotes, so by that Python gonna understand that this is a string. Other than that, we can also use single quotes, which is also acceptable. So when I write down print type first name, and also type last name, and run the code, we're going to get their type, which is string naturally. Let's do this, Python 3 main.py. Here you go. So now let's move to the integers. The integer and floats are numbers. For example, if I want to store mobile number, then I gotta use integer. For example, mobile number is something like 99999 and so on. This mobile number variable will store the number, and for the float we have a variable named salary. If someone's salary is, for example, 95.154, then it will be considered as a float in Python. We can also print the type of the salary. What we're going to get in terminal is naturally is a float. Here you go. That's it. And if I want to print the salary, I can just put comma in the print statement and type down salary over there and run the code. What we're going to get is the salary next to its type in the terminal. Now let's move to the list and tuple. So a list is initialized by using square braces, and tuple is initialized by using round braces. So let's create a list for a collection of the numbers, named collection list, and add some numbers in it. There we can also specify string values as string 1 or string 2. Here we go, string 1 and string 2. We can also store the variables like mobile numbers and even the lists inside of the list, and at last tuples too, with a value of, for example, 15.154, let's say. Then there are the tuples, which we're going to name as collection tuple and initialize it by using the round brackets. Here in this, we can store the same things we did in the list. So I'm just going to copy the data from the list and paste it to the tuple to save some time. Copy and paste. Now we're going to type down print the collection list and do the same to the collection tuple. Let's do this. Print and print collection tuple. As you can see, both of them are printed. So we can also check the type of the list. Let's type down type of the collection list, and what we're going to get is the list and the same thing to the tuple. Type. Yeah, here we go, the same. So let's comment out those for now, and let's get to know what is the difference between tuple and the list. So the tuple is an immutable object and we cannot change tuple. And for the list, if I write down collection list dot append and add some values, for example 999, and run the code, we can see 999 is appended to the list. And if we try the same thing with the tuple, we will get tuple object has no attribute to append, which means we cannot change anything in tuple. So now let's move to the dictionary. So the dictionary has key and value pairs which are defined by separating colon between them. Suppose I have a dictionary of words named words dictionary, which I will initialize it by using curly brackets. And let's write something, for example, meaning of the word. Word, colon, it's a collection of the characters. Let's do this. Word, colon, not the comma, it's a collection of the characters. So this is how we initialize and add values to the dictionary. We can also print the dictionary using print statement, print word dict, and run the code. The dictionary will be printed in the console. So if we want to access something from the dictionary, we need to use square brackets. We can add string inside of the square brackets. And if we want to access to the key, which is a string, and you have to specify it with double quotes and add the words in it. So when I run, I'll get the value which corresponding to the words, that is collection of the characters. Similarly, if I want to access to a number, I don't have to specify double quotes. I can just directly write 1 and run the code, which will end up showing me the output. 1 is a number. So this is how we can access the things from the dictionary. Now, let's move to the sets. The sets is also initialized by using curly brackets, but they do not have Q-value pairs. Sets are unordered and unchangeable, and they do not allow to duplicate values in them. So let's declare a set of numbers now and add some values to it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then print the set numbers and run the code. Set numbers. What you're gonna get is the sets in the console. To understand the thing that it doesn't allow the duplicate values, let's add some duplicate values to it. For example, 1, 2, 3. And again, run the code. We can see that nothing has changed. Means it won't consider them just because they are duplicate and already declared. Now let's move to the Boolean. Booleans can be true or false. So create a variable named condition, which I initialize with true. It will be a Boolean variable, and when I print condition and run the code, I'll get true statement here. Let's see, here you go. I can also declare them with a false and run the code, which will give me the value false naturally. You must notice that I haven't used double quotes in here because the true and the false is defined by the Python. So you can directly write those as true or false without using quotes. You can also define condition as 1 is greater than 2. Let's see. If 1 isn't greater than 2, the condition will be false. So when I run the code, false will appear here. But when I reverse the condition, as 1 is less than 2, which is definitely true,